we're gonna pick off. I'm gonna say like kind of like the night before, the day before you are set to arrive at Palestrom. Ruby, you are in your room. You hear a tinkering at your door, and then you hear a knock on your door.
Who is there?
Um, it's me. It's you hear Suzanne's voice.
Is there any reason why you're here, trying to get in my room?
Okay, look, it's kind of like a force of habit thing. Okay, I remembered to knock at least. What can you tell me about the goddess that you worship?
Well, she's very capricious. You know, she gets in moods. Sometimes it's to destroy something, sometimes it's to heal, sometimes to spare. It just kind of depends on her mood.
Honestly, she sounds like my kind of girl. It's strange because you know, most sailors, especially if you've been around like sailors from like a long time ago, they've heard her name, right? But for the most part, you really just hear the old stories, you know, about like how angry she can be. But I think hearing you say it that way, that feels true. After the fight in that laboratory, when I got knocked out and I came back, I started feeling something weird. Like every time I look at you, there's like this like lightning like in my chest. And it feels like because you use your magic to save me and your magic comes from her that like I kind of have, I don't know, some kind of connection to her as well. I don't know, is this like fucking weird? I'm being fucking weird.
Not a bad thing. That's definitely not a bad thing. I mean, if you worship me a tiny bit.
Okay, I'm not worshiping you, okay? You're more like a fucking a medium or something. Just, oh my god. Thank you for answering my questions. I will maybe ask you about it more.
I was in your shoes once. I was super confused. And if there was some of the time you could have given me more guidance on it, I would have really appreciated it. So, I mean, my door's always open.
Galad, where are you right now?
Probably in my room trying on my new captain's coat and feels as now a small little sprite.
You hear a knock. The door opens as Aurelius Windsor steps into the room. I wish to call a meeting with, you members of the Shield.
Okay, I just talk to a corner. Simon, get the rest of the Shield.
Simon, who has been he's just like inside of a crate. He like bursts out of it, was already flying across his notebook. Got it! He kind of scurries off. Suma, what are you up to right now?
Yeah, I'm in my room and I'm probably just reading, and every so often I'm like looking in the journal in my pocket.
You hear a pounding at your door. There's a meeting. There's a meeting. You better get your butt over there. Bye. You make your way over. In your pocket, your journal. Alok, what are you up to right now?
Probably reading the ASL book, studying that.
Periodically, the ghost of Patrice will kind of like pop in and out, kind of just to check in on you. And you're getting pretty good at this. Simon knocks on your door, summons you to this meeting. So you all meet up in Gal's quarters. Aurelius kind of stands in the middle of the room, very stiff, his head down. Right, well, there are certain things that I want to address ahead of arriving at Palestrom. You will all have to hide me. I am wanted by the Storm King and his court, and I will have to assume a completely different identity whilst I am in the city. This is not the most creative thing ever, but for the time being, while we were in Palestrom, or in Galan Republic in general, you should call me Rel. I cannot let down my guard for even a moment while I am there, because every citizen of Palestrom worships the Storm King. And once his wishes are known, they will all conspire together to see them done. My ability to portend the future has been impaired as of late.
Could I, remember like a few weeks ago when we were talking about weird dreams we had? Basically, in my dream, Priscilla came to me and was basically saying the Red Race is attempting to usurp her, kind of take over her powers, and instead of, Storm sometimes being chaotic, sometimes helpful, it's just going to be chaotic.
Attempting to usurp a god? and he kind of falls very quiet, very hurriedly storms off. He kind of makes it all the way to the top deck, and you see he's kind of leaning over the railing, and his arms are shaking. The wind is blowing.
You go up and tap him on the shoulder. I'm like,
He kind
feelings.
of turns with a jerk. What?
Feelings. Do you have any feelings you want to talk about or something? Like,
I just remembered something that perhaps I had blocked out or wasn't supposed to remember. This idea of a mortal being attempting to usurp a god, it rings familiar to me.
So he's saying that the red race wants to usurp the gods? We sort of fought the thing. Like, there's no way that ghost can do that. I mean,
We did see him get stronger, though, as he rode away. Well, he said when he visited me, he said that he was once a wannabe hero. I think if we discovered who he was when he was not a ghost, that would lead us to some helpful information.
I don't know how we're going to find the whole animal poaching thing, so I think Alok and Suma, you might have to go on like an investigation trip.
As you all part ways, Suma, you hang around on the deck, and you go back to checking your phone, and by phone I mean your little two-way journal, and you see that you have received a reply. I can answer 2 of your questions at once. Bar Vault is an extravagant city, carved into the side of the Spoke Mountain, right off the coast, and inside it is a place called the Ivory Vault. Operating in that city, and there's an organization I've heard tell of only in rumors, a shadowy presence known only to me as the Ring, and I pray that we are all reunited soon. Yours. The sea is still for a moment, but you do hear something muffled but beautiful. It's a melody. It's so faint you can barely hear it. You feel yourself compelled to kind of walk closer to where you feel like is a source. You walk over there, and eventually you see emerging from the water is Miela. Like, her hair slicked back from the ocean, like her ears like finned, and she sees you and immediately she looks at you sheepishly, dives back down. You hear shoot out of the water and kind of like land onto the deck and kind of just like, don't tell anyone kind of thing.
As she's jumping out, I'll be casting Comprehend Languages so I can speak with her.
There's been a lot going on recently, and whenever I'm in the water, it's so much easier to think and to be myself. Don't tell anybody. I feel like Dell's gonna worry about me if she knows that I'm doing this. She thinks I'm gonna get, like, I don't know, attacked by a sea monster or something. But, like, everything in the sea is, like, super, super nice. They're just a little sad right now. I think that when I'm in there, they're a little less sad.
Don't worry. Your secret is safe with me as long as you'd like me to keep it.
And she kind of smiles at you again and says thank you, and then returns back to where her quarters would be. The city of Palestrom comes into view. You guys sail in. You see that, like, this is like a city that, like, is like built on these cliffs, and they kind of like spiral down into where the port area is. And you kind of have to like climb up these winding steps to get to the higher portions of the city, and eventually the highest point is this giant tower with like spires, like very gothic architecture. And the closer you get to the city, the more you can feel that, like, almost perpetually there's a wind blowing.
Okay, the first one I will do for Old Man Jenkins' realm.
Okay, so this is just the worst old man disguise.
Wait.
So
Okay.
Ruby and Suma have the earrings. Alok and Suma, you depart first. As you descend the gangplank onto this port, you see 2 more figures approach behind these guards. We'll take it from here, guys. Don't worry about it. And the tiefling woman holds up a shield emblem.
There was one incident which we were on our way to speak to the shield about. One of the senior shield leaders from Loki temporarily joined us, and he did not make it.
Would this be Sir Gawain?
That's the one.
I see. Well, in that case, are the other 2 still alive and intact?
Yes.
Well,
They've remained on the ship.
in order to understand the full scope of it, it may be wise for all of you to be present. We'll be at the end of the dock Just meet us when you're ready. You guys gather together. You walk to the end of the pier, all 4 of you.
We ran into the individual responsible, who we think is responsible. His legendary name is the Red Wraith.
We had heard some rumor of a group of smugglers that were traveling the seas that I highly doubt that they'd be able to kill someone like Gawain. So as you all walk along with these two, you all file into this like large courtyard. As you pass through, Sierra like nods to Ronso. I'll make sure that no one is watching. I want to hear the story before we tell it to everybody else. How exactly did Sir Gawain Redshield die?
Gawain stayed with us because he thought something suspicious was happening. The Red Wraith showed up. For some reason, he was enticed to go to the Red Wraith's side of the ship, got stabbed, and got absorbed.
See, I find that very difficult to believe. You understand why, right?
Oh yeah, no, like I didn't believe it when it was happening at the moment.
This is some kind of story you guys are spinning right now. Everyone's on board with this? Is this something like...
Everything you said is true.
It's the first thing out of your mouth that was the problem. The first thing you opened with was that Sir Gawain Redshield was dead, which would be concerning if we didn't receive a letter from Sir Gawain 3 days ago. Pulls out a letter. Faithful members of the Shield. It has come to my attention that there is a rogue party of smugglers pretending to be Shield members raiding the coasts of Laki. I managed to sneak aboard their vessel and gain their trust, but they attempted to kill me in my sleep. I only barely found a way to survive long enough to return to Adaport and send this letter. They should be arriving in Palestrom sometime soon. They are extremely dangerous. Capture them through whatever means necessary and finish them.
How do you know this is actually from Sir Gawain?
He shows you the seal on the envelope. High-ranking members of the guild have access to arcane seals that prove their identities. This was Sir Gawain, and you are not Shield members. Everybody roll initiative. Alok first, what is your move?
I don't know. I can't convince them. I'm not. I guess I won't even reach for a weapon or anything. I'll just say, I promise. We are a part of the Shield. The Red Wraith did something to Gawain. It absorbed him or something.
How many times are you gonna tell the same fucking story?
I don't want to play these guys. They're Shield members. Does it look like everybody else in the party is gonna get ready? Are they like? Is everyone reaching for weapons or whatever?
Yeah, is everybody
I'm not at this point.
I might do something, but I'm definitely not reaching for a weapon.
Yeah, me neither.
Step back and hold my hands up and say, I swear.
Suma, that is your turn.
We do know who the smugglers are, and you won't get the information if you harm us.
Gawain was pretty certain that you would use any underhanded tactics possible. We will not make that mistake. Gallet, your turn.
Gallet will run towards Sierra on the ground in front of her. Please, we haven't raised a weapon. We have items on us that can help prove our story. On the ship, there's smuggled animals from Erebus. My ring has some kind of deity that speaks of the Red Wraith. Priscilla speaks of the Red Wraith.
She looks very, very confused. She kind of like looks over at Ronso to like kind of be like, maybe they're telling the truth. But Ronso, in a blind rage, does not seem to be phased. But Sierra seems like she's not going to be taking any super offensive actions anytime soon.
I use command to like affect someone's emotions. So can I turn to Ronso and say like calm?
Devane, he kind of snaps out of it, looks around. Very confused.
If you take us to the animals, you'll see that they're not afraid of us. Like, or these are animals that we saved.
He looks over at Sierra, shrugs. Sierra eventually just nods at Ronso, and he holds up a hand. Sierra holds up a hand, and these two archers on the roofs lower their bows. We have now exited combat. She sits down on this bench, and she says, I don't understand any of what's happening. If what you're saying is true, then who sent this letter?
I think maybe the Red Wraith absorbed Gawain in some way and made him part of his crew.
Okay, this is a lot to take in. I say we all just return back to your ship, and we can see if we can sort this out. that's where we're gonna leave off as I try to recalibrate what the fuck to do now because no fight happened.